And now, the punchline. It's a good thing I didn't say anything about the dirty knife. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. You know, the food crisis around the world is something that is still not getting the kind of press that it deserves. You know, there's fluctuation in the price of rice and wheat and flour, and all of these costs keep going up and up and up. One thing that is escaping news media attention in this country almost completely is the UG99 wheat rust. You know, big fat technical term that is. It is just a type of rust that attacks wheat, and it is a rust that plants have not developed a resistance to. So the problem is that a lot of the wheat that is grown in Asia is being affected by this. So much so that there are concentrated efforts to try to attack this rust and to do something about it, but so far they haven't had any luck. Now, what this means in the long run is that yields from crops could be vastly reduced, which in the long term is going to be even more threatening to the food supply in the world today. And that includes us here in the United States. Even though the UG99 is outside of the country for the most part right now, it's going to make its way here at some point in time. And even if it doesn't, the amount of wheat that is available for use in making flour and bread and all manner of products is going to be greatly reduced. So, just another problem to add on top of the other 9,000 fucking problems that we have. But it's not being talked about in the media because I guess they want to downplay any possible scares with already the news of rationing of rice and other things that have come and gone very fleetingly through the news. So keep your eyes open for that, because that's something that's going to be popping up more in the future, and it's a big fucking problem, and it's going to get a lot worse. I gotta say, you know, as much as I hate the Supreme Court because they mostly vote in total opposition to my own personal beliefs, today they handed a big fuck you to George W. Bush and his administration by ruling that detainees at Guantanamo have access to U.S. courts to appeal their detentions, and this is a big slammed door to President Bush and his attempts at relegating these people, who we don't even know who they are or where they're from, as so-called enemy combatants, thereby denying them the rule of law. Well, the rule of law has come out on top today, as the Supreme Court rules that those people have access to the courts in the United States to appeal their detentions. Maybe, at some point, we might even get to know who the fuck they are. What do you think? Let alone what, if anything, they did. So congratulations to the befuddled Supreme Court for getting one right. Great job. And my last comment for this evening is Ron Paul's announcement that he is suspending his campaign for good and for real. And it is a sad day for liberty, because he is ending his bid, even though he had no chance whatsoever of getting the nomination. I'm hopeful that he will have some say in the Republican convention, although since he's done this, I imagine that they're going to feel less pressure to have him as a presence at the Republican National Convention. But I do still feel that if John McCain does slight him, doesn't give him any time or any ability to impact the platform, that he's going to alienate a lot of his voter base in the Republican Party. Because, let's face it, John McCain is not popular with Republicans. A vast majority of them voted for other candidates throughout the primary contest. So he was more or less the lesser of all the evils and ended up on top. And despite Ron Paul's strong finish in the primaries, he is suspending his campaign. So I want to say thank you to Dr. Ron Paul for running, and thank you for bringing us your book and for introducing a whole new generation of people to what it means to be a constitutionalist, someone who believes in the rule of law and who believes in liberty. And I certainly hope that we'll hear more from him, and he is going to be starting a new program that's going to seek to get people into office who more closely align themselves with his libertarian-leaning views. So I wish him the best of luck in that. And of course, we always have him in Congress, so we'll know he's there trying to promote the same things that he's tried to promote in his presidential campaign. So thank you, Ron Paul. Now remember, wheat rust, not talking about in the news at all, but do a little search on the internet, you'll find out that this is a really serious problem. It's going to be affecting a lot of us in the future.